Islam and Hinduism on the surface look like they don't have even one thing in common. However, although they do have striking differences, Islam and Hinduism have some surprising similarities. So what's going on, guys? How's it going? My name is Leroy Kenton and welcome back to FTD Facts. And here I have 10 similarities between Islam and Hinduism that just might surprise you. I know quite a bit of you have been requesting for me to do a video about this, so here it is. Alright, so the first similarity is both Hinduism and Islam accept God as a supreme being and the Lord of the universe. He is the creator and the sustainer of all living beings and the entire creation, everything that we can see and cannot see. God is the source and the cause of the divine law, which is called Dharma in Hinduism, which he upholds through his will. Also, both religions believe that God has the power to execute and enforce his will at any time. It's mentioned in both the Quran and the Gita that God is a supreme being and he has complete power over the universe and he guides it according to his or her vision. God doesn't have a specific gender in either of the religions either. Both religions believe that remembering and reciting names of God as well as mantras really creates an inner connection to the divine being. This is why prayer is done 5 times a day in Islam and sometimes less based on the branch of Islam, and why Hindus are encouraged to keep the mind connected to spiritual thoughts as they go throughout the day. There's also similarities in Harut and Marut. So the Quran mentions the names of 2 angels called Harut and Marut who possess the knowledge of sorcery and magic and taught knowledge to those who wanted to learn sorcery and magic only as a test of their faith. Now, inside of the Hinduism religion, spiritual adepts invoke Marut, one of the angels, to attain supernatural powers, to perform miracles and do superhuman acts. And I know quite a bit of you say that Islam and Hinduism, they're not religions, they're actually just ways of life. Well, I'm using the term religion because there is a religious structure to them currently, and regardless if you believe they're just simply a way of life, well, a religion is a way of life. So I just want to clarify that. I don't mean to step on anybody's toes or anything. But with that said, let's move on. There's tons of similarities also with prophets and divine incarnation. Well, tons is kind of an exaggeration, but there are some similarities. So check this. Islam believes in prophets and that many were raised from among humans for social as well as religious reforms. They spoke in the language that people could really relate to. But in Hinduism, they believe that God incarnates himself on earth to restore true religion, and he's called an avatar or a divine incarnation. The Srimad Bhagavatam speaks of divine incarnations. So yeah, Hinduism does agree with the Islamic view of there being many prophets, but Islam does not consider prophets as incarnations of God, but rather they consider them to be human beings and servants of God. In the Hindu Vedas, it also calls prophets rishis or sages, and the Vedas do not call them divine incarnations. However, in later times, rishis were called men of supernatural powers. There are similarities also in the idea of mental and physical purification. So Islam, they completely stress on physical and mental purification. Physical purification can be achieved through a bath in a prescribed certain way. But in the absence of water, you can use tayammum to purify yourself. And in this process, one can rub his hands on a lump of soil and then rubbing their hands on the body in a certain way. Also, reciting certain prayers has a lot greater rewards. But centuries before Islam was an organized religion, Hindus also stressed physical purification by bathing the body with water, and in the absence of water, the body could be purified by smearing ashes over the body. Hinduism also believes in the law of karma, and Islam believes that God rewards people for good deeds and punishes them for bad deeds. Inside the Quran, you'll see passages like, whoever does a good deed, he shall be repaid tenfold, and whoever does evil, he shall be repaid with evil. So it's in a sense the same belief, but it's just worded differently. That's why it's so important that we discuss different religions and different points of view so we can gain certain understandings and understand each other. Both religions also believe in the moral responsibility of each individual towards others and practice things like charity giving, doing good deeds, being forgiving, eating in moderation, as well as drinking in moderation, practicing self-control, being friendly, being patient, and showing tons of gratitude. The next thing I want want to talk about is the tolerance of the religions. Hinduism is a very tolerant religion. Hindus believe that each individual has a choice to pursue a path in accordance to his or her inner guidance. And also you get to take responsibility for your own salvation. In Hinduism, the pursuit of truth is far more important than the belief in a god or particular divinity. Islam, on the other hand, does not recognize other religions unless they're specifically mentioned inside of the Quran, but Islam does respect every single religion, and they acknowledge people for doing good things, and even the Quran, it says there is to be no compulsion in religion. So they're very tolerant also in that same sense. And the final thing is both religions believe in the ultimate destruction of the world and that the rescue of the holy people will happen by God. There are, however, some difference in the details in the manner in which this is carried out, because in Hinduism we see Kalki, who is the 10th avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu, and he will bring an end to this final stage of existence and bring forth Satya Yuga, where everything resets and everyone and everything is at the purest ideal. Now in Islam, God will raise from the dead every person who has ever lived and then individually pronounce judgment upon them. And those who are holy will inherit paradise, and those who are found evil will be punished. Although there are certain things that vary, Islam and Hinduism still share the concept that yes, the world one day will end. Okay, so those were just 10 similarities between Islam and Hinduism. I know I found 10, like it was pretty surprising. I didn't even know that there's so many different similarities, but like I really enjoyed making this video for you guys, so hopefully you all learned something new. And also sound off in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about anything that I shared. Also, if you enjoyed this video, here's another video like this. You can tap the annotation by my head. I'll also have the link to that below in the video description section. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss any of our daily episodes here on FTD Facts. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all real soon.